the battle, the back and forth between you and Mike over the years. You know, y'all had y'all battles on the court, and even, you know, after basketball, you know, y'all still have a certain level of differences. Do you feel like that's something that's going to always be there, or do you think that one day that'll be something that works itself out?
That's up to him.
December 2025 pulled IsaiahThomas onto the New Era Detroit podcast, and he didn't dodge anything about MichaelJordan at all. The tension is still alive, and according to Thomas, the switch to end it is fully in Jordan's hands. What really shocks people is Thomas saying he didn't even know there was beef for decades, not until 2020. Isaiah truly believed they were cool. Their families spent time together. His own son even had a Michael Jordan jersey hanging proudly in his bedroom. That's how normal it felt. Then The Last Dance dropped during COVID, and Thomas watched Jordan look straight into the camera and tell the world that he hated him. That moment flipped everything upside down. When someone asked Isaiah if the situation between him and Jordan would ever get fixed, his answer came fast. That's up to him. And then he broke it down real clear. Me and my family, while he was in Chicago, we were extremely nice to him, just as brothers. We competed on the floor, but outside of the floor, his family hung out with my family sometimes, so I always thought we was cool.
Me and my family, while he was in Chicago, we were extremely nice to him. You know, just as brothers, right? You know, now we competed on the floor, but, you know, outside of the floor, right? His family hung out with my family sometime. You know, we had friends and everything. You know, so I always thought we was cool. And even my son had a Jordan jersey hanging up in his bedroom. Right?
That detail hits hardest. The man who ran the Bad Boy Pistons, the same guy tied to the Jordan rules, still let his kid wear MJ's jersey in his own house. That says everything. Back in 1992, when the DreamTeam drama first popped up, Jordan denied having anything to do with Isaiah being left off. Thomas believed him. He knew how messy media stories can get, but everything changed after The Last Dance. Jordan's producers even reached out directly, sending emails saying, "I can't tell my story without you. You've been so influential, inspirational with me." IsaiahThomas heard that, agreed to appear, put on a clean three-piece suit, showed up for filming, and believed everything was straight. No tension, no drama, no warning signs. Then the documentary dropped while the world was locked inside during COVID, and MichaelJordan looked into the camera and said he hated IsaiahThomas. The reaction was instant and raw. That stuck, man. I feel like he set me up in his video. And from that moment on, Isaiah's stance never changed, not even a little.
It's COVID and everybody's sitting at home. And he come out and say, "Man, I hate IsaiahThomas." That stuck, man. Right? After, like I say, I put on three-piece suit, came dressed, and so I feel like he set me up in his video, right? So then afterwards, he had people calling, "Hey, tell Isaiah, you know, I didn't mean it," and everything else. And this is what I've said, and I'm gonna say it here, and I've always said it every time somebody asks me. Hey, if you didn't mean it, and you said it to the world publicly, then apologize publicly.
That's right.
Don't have no private meeting with me.
That's right.
And say, you know, hey, I didn't mean to. But if you meant it, stand on it. But if you didn't mean it, you know, then say it publicly. He's chosen not to say it publicly, so until he does, this is where it's at.
If you didn't mean it and you said it to the world publicly, then apologize publicly. Don't have no private meeting with me. But if you meant it, stand on it. That's the line Isaiah drew, and he never crossed it. MichaelJordan sent people to reach out quietly, saying he didn't really mean what he said. Isaiah wasn't buying it. Private apologies don't fix public humiliation. Jordan chose silence instead of a public apology. And as Isaiah put it, until he does, this is where it's at, and I'm good with that. The documentary spent big time on episodes 4 and 5 breaking down the Bulls-Pistons war. And Jordan's side of it all? The damage really hit when producers showed Jordan footage of Isaiah defending the 1991 walk-off. Jordan didn't even watch it before firing back. "Well, I know it's all bullshit." Then came the line that blew everything up. "You can show me anything you want. There's no way you can convince me he wasn't an asshole." Right after that, Jordan made it even messier. He praised Isaiah's game while making his feelings crystal clear. I respect IsaiahThomas's talent. To me, the best point guard of all time is Magic Johnson, and right behind him is IsaiahThomas. No matter how much I hate him, I respect his game. IsaiahThomas was ranked second all-time at his position, right behind Magic Johnson, and in the same breath, Jordan confirmed pure personal hatred. Respect on the court didn't stop the contempt, and it spilled over to the entire Pistons organization. Oh, I hated them, and that hate carries even to this day. That's how MichaelJordan described those Pistons battles, saying their physical style made everything personal. He talked about how Detroit beat them down year after year in the playoffs, turning every possession into a war. But when the Dream Team story first aired, Jordan painted a very different picture. Jordan claimed he never directly asked for IsaiahThomas to be left off the team. It was insinuated that I was asking about him, but I never threw his name in there. That version survived for a few weeks. Then it completely collapsed. Right after The Last Dance ended, Sports Illustrated writer Jack McCallum dropped audio from a 2011 interview on his podcast, The DreamTeam Tapes. And that recording flipped the entire story upside down. In Jordan's own voice, he explained how Rod Thorne called him. And he made it clear he wouldn't play if Isaiah was on the roster. That wasn't speculation anymore. That was a straight ultimatum. The audio showed Jordan drawing a hard line to keep Thomas off the Olympic team after years of public denials, including during the documentary itself. Isaiah fired back with pure anger, calling it years of fake narratives, cover-ups, and image control pushed by massive marketing. The 1992 Dream Team moved forward without Thomas and instead stacked the roster with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Chris Mullin, Scottie Pippen, Clyde Drexler, and Jordan himself, plus college player Christian Laettner. Meanwhile, Isaiah, a two-time NBA champion, Finals MVP, and 12-time All-Star, was still in his prime, stuck watching from home while a college kid took his spot. Jordan wasn't alone in wanting IsaiahThomas left out. Not even close. Magic Johnson spelled it out clearly in his 2009 book. Michael didn't want to play with him. Scottie wanted no part of it. Bird wasn't pushing for him. Karl Malone didn't want him either. And the real question said it all. Who was standing up saying, "We need this guy"? Nobody. Later on, Charles Barkley summed it up even harsher. He said Michael had been saying for years that he had nothing to do with it, until the tape came out and exposed everything. That's when the story fully cracked open. To understand why so many players couldn't stand Thomas and the Pistons, you've got to rewind to the late 1980s. This wasn't just trash talk or competition. This was full-on warfare. From 1988 to 1991, the Bulls and Pistons collided 4 straight postseasons. Detroit won the first 3 battles before Chicago finally broke through in the 4th. The infamous Jordan rules were born on April 3rd, 1988, the night Michael Jordan dropped 59 on Detroit. Chuck Daly's staff cooked up a brutal plan. Force Jordan left, double him depending on where he stood, bump him on every screen, knock him down anytime he attacked the paint. John Sally put it even simpler. The Jordan rules meant rough him up, no mercy. Detroit took the series in 1988, 1989, and 1990. Game 7 in 1990 became known as the migraine game, after Scottie Pippen was sidelined with severe headaches, scoring just 2 points while Jordan carried Chicago with 31. Detroit won 93-74 and rolled to a second straight title. That summer, Jordan added 15 pounds of muscle and mastered the triangle offense. When they met again in 1991, Chicago swept Detroit clean, 4 straight. The Jordan rules were officially dead. Then came the moment that still echoes today. May 27th, 1991, at the Palace of Auburn Hills, with 7.9 seconds left and the Bulls up 115-94. The Pistons stood up and walked off the court. Bill Laimbeer and IsaiahThomas led the exit without a handshake, without a word. Only Joe Dumars and Sally stayed behind to show respect. Sally later admitted he tried to re-enter the game just to avoid being part of that moment, saying there was drama happening that he didn't want tied to his name. Jordan wasn't alone in wanting IsaiahThomas left out, not even close. Magic Johnson laid it out clearly in his 2009 book. Michael didn't want to play with him. Scottie wanted no part of it. Bird wasn't pushing for him. Karl Malone didn't want him either. And the loudest answer was silence. Who was standing up saying, "We need this guy"? Nobody. Later on, Charles Barkley cut even deeper. He said Michael spent years claiming he had nothing to do with it, right up until the tape came out and flipped the story upside down. That's when everything finally cracked open. To understand why so many players couldn't stand Thomas and the Pistons, you've got to rewind to the late 1980s. This wasn't trash talk or a simple rivalry. This was straight-up warfare. From 1988 to 1991, the Bulls and Pistons crashed into each other 4 straight postseasons. Detroit took the first 3 battles before Chicago finally broke through in the 4th. The infamous Jordan rules were born on April 3rd, 1988, the night Michael Jordan exploded for 59 against Detroit. Chuck Daly's staff built a ruthless plan, forced Jordan left, double him by position, hit him on every screen, drop him anytime he attacked the paint. John Sally explained it even simpler. The Jordan rules meant rough him up, no mercy. Detroit won the series in 1988, 1989, and 1990. Game 7 in 1990 became the migraine game after Scottie Pippen struggled with severe headaches, scoring just 2 points while Jordan carried Chicago with 31. Detroit won 93-74 and marched to a second straight title. That offseason, Jordan added 15 pounds of muscle and locked into the triangle offense. When they met again in 1991, Chicago swept Detroit 4 straight. The Jordan rules were officially finished. Then came the moment that still echoes today. May 27, 1991, at the Palace of Auburn Hills, with 7.9 seconds left and the Bulls up 115-94. The Pistons stood up and walked off the court. Bill Laimbeer and IsaiahThomas led the exit without a handshake, without a word. Only Joe Dumars and Sally stayed back to show respect. Sally later admitted he tried to re-enter the game just to avoid being tied to that moment, saying there was drama going down that he wanted no part of. How does a so-called friend ever cross the line and question you like that? It hit people hard, and honestly, it's sad for IsaiahThomas. Over the years, this Jordan-Thomas beef pushed a lot of people away from him, and it's weighed heavy. Magic Johnson even stepped in calling for peace, saying he loves both men and hopes they can bury this already because at this point, they're too old for the drama. Then Dennis Rodman took Thomas's side on the DreamTeam snub, saying Isaiah should have been there instead of Larry Bird. Rodman pointed out Bird was injured and barely able to play at the time, making the decision even more questionable. What's wild is Michael Jordan has stayed completely silent since The Last Dance aired in 2020. 5 years passed. Not a single public word about Isaiah's complaints or his demand for an apology. Behind the scenes, Jordan's people did reach out privately, with messages like, "Tell Isaiah I didn't mean it." But private peace wasn't enough. Thomas made it clear. You don't get to embarrass someone in public, then fix it quietly over dinner. That's not how it works. In 2022, both legends showed up at the NBA 75th anniversary celebration in Cleveland, in the same building, same night, and didn't say a single word to each other. Isaiah stayed open, but only on his terms. "I'm not afraid of anybody. I'll sit down with anybody. I don't walk around with fear and I don't walk around with hate." Jordan's silence says plenty on its own. Either he meant every word and stands on it, or he refuses to apologize publicly because he sees that as weakness. Isaiah is now 63. Jordan is 61. Magic's words still ring true. They're too old for this. And yet, here we are, still talking about a feud that traces back to the 1985 All-Star Game. Nearly 40 years of tension. What makes this whole thing different is Isaiah's real shock. Decades went by thinking they were friends until a global pandemic locked everyone inside and The Last Dance revealed the truth. "I never knew he felt that way until the documentary," Isaiah said. The resolution Isaiah wants feels unlikely. A public apology from a competitor who built his legend on never showing weakness? That cuts against everything Jordan represents, and Isaiah isn't backing down either. Until there's a public apology, this feud isn't going anywhere. Two legendary competitors, two immovable forces, one rivalry that may never end. And Jordan, true to form, has answered it all with silence.